Welcome to the Rock Music Alliance interview sessions. I'm your host, Cole Coleman, along with keyboardist Claudio Pesavento from Mahogany Rush and the Chris Squire Band. On our show today, you know her guitar playing from the Iron Maidens and Heaven Below, but her own solo career is rocketing higher and higher since her debut album release, Apocrypha. So, welcome to our show, RMA Award winner, Nikki Stringfield.
Hello, everybody. How's it going?
Thanks for coming on our show, Nikki. Now, Nikki, you're working in multiple projects. You know, you've got the Iron Maidens, you've got Heaven Below, you've got your own project, Nikki Stringfield, and you've got an acoustic duo going. I'll call it Stringfield and Kennison.
Yeah.
Does it have a name? Does your duo actually have a name?
No, we're not that creative. We just wanted it to be our names, just to put it, just so everybody knew exactly what it was.
Right.
Call it the Honeymooners.
Yeah, there you go.
So before we get lost in conversation, do you have any performance dates, tours, or any new releases coming out with any of your bands?
Oh man, the rest of this year going into next year is going to be really, really crazy. Patrick and I, speaking of acoustic tours, we just confirmed a tour with opening for Marty Friedman on his live drama 2025 tour. So we will be bringing our acoustic act all across the U.S., starting in Las Vegas, I believe January 25th, and it's ending at the Whiskey A Go-Go in Los Angeles, I think February 22nd. So it's going all over. We're going to be doing mostly originals instead of covers, and maybe with like one or two covers sprinkled in there. So we're really focusing on the original stuff. And to try to coincide with that, we're trying to release the new Heaven Below album, The Majestic 12, around that same time. So we're going to have a ton of cool merch. Like we're making merch specifically for this acoustic tour. We're just working on that last night. And there's some really cool stuff coming up for the Iron Maidens at the end of this year that I can't announce yet, but stay tuned, because literally my phone's blowing up right now about it. And so yeah, it's so much. There's going to be a lot of touring. We're going to Europe October through November. So yeah, lots of touring, and hoping to sprinkle in some solo band dates at some point. I was hoping to do that at the end of the year, but it looks like I'm going to be touring a lot with the acoustic act and the Maidens instead. So
Yeah, that is quite a cliffhanger there. Something big going on with the Iron Maidens, and touring with Marty Friedman. Congratulations on that. Have you met Marty before?
No, and he's one of my all-time favorite guitar players. If any interview I do, anytime I'm asked who's my top 3-5 favorite guitar players, Marty Friedman's always right in that list. So it's crazy. It's scary. Like, oh my God, we're going to be on tour with Marty, opening for Marty Friedman. So no, I'm so excited and his new album is incredible too. So
yeah, I hope you get a chance to do your solo music, Nikki Stringfield band with him sometime. That'd be a nice tour as well.
I know. I hope so too. But they asked for the acoustic, and I was like, okay, sure. That makes it easier on us. It's just Patrick and I. So it'll be I never thought I would be touring, as an acoustic act ever.
I know.
First solo individual kind of tour, because this
Kip Winger did that.
Yeah.
Kip Winger did all the tour with Scorpions, Dokken, and Whitesnake. And
Yeah.
Kip Winger was the opener with the acoustic guitar.
Wow,
Yeah.
that's interesting. I never heard that. That's
I
cool.
was on that tour. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, good. It's not just us then, because I was like, that'll be strange. But, I think a lot of the venues that we're playing, the Maidens have played, and some of them are sit-down venues, like the city wineries or like Ram's Head in Annapolis. So, I guess it's more like, dinner and a show type thing, wine and a show.
Lots of wine.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Well, it's going to be ending up here in LA where I'm at, so I got to come out and see you guys at the Whiskey.
Even Don Dokken did that. He opened for Queensryche for like a year, I think, or maybe half a year.
Yeah.
Was him and Kelly Killing. They were doing a duo, acoustic duo.
That's
It's pretty cool. I've never really heard of acoustic artists opening up, for somebody. So it's interesting. 'Cause, I mean, you guys aren't particularly acoustic artists. You guys are full on rock. So it's kind of interesting.
Yeah, that's what we thought too, but hey, we weren't gonna say no, that's for
Yeah.
sure. All right, yeah, that's what you want. Yeah, we're down to do it.
They don't want you to blow the speakers off, like, play too
Right.
loud.
I don't know. Patrick's still really loud regardless, so
Yeah, that guy's got a quite a
yeah,
voice on him, so
yeah, exactly. So
When we when
you
we
know,
open up when we open up for Ted Nugent, I thought we were loud. He was like
so yeah.
louder than anybody else.
yeah, well,
Really.
Ted had a reputation, I remember, as being really loud, a loud act.
Yeah.
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 Well, Nikki, while you've had solo releases before, some singles and of course your EP Harmonies for the Haunted. This past year, you released your first full-length album called Apocrypha. Yeah, do you feel like launching that album is like the real launch of your solo career?
I do. I can't believe it's already been almost a year. I don't even know how that's possible. Like time is flying, and we've played maybe was it 4 or 5 solo band shows so far with it. And I want to do more and eventually just focus more on that than anything. But this year has been pretty crazy with the move and starting over in a new state and the maidens keep me really busy and everything. But yeah, I definitely do. Harmonies for the Haunted. I didn't know what to expect, my EP, and I felt like that was me just kind of like, testing the waters a little bit, and luckily people liked it. And so, I want to just keep going from there. I feel like I haven't even really done much in way of promoting and everything for it. Like we are going to do another single. We'll probably release Lunacy as the second single. I was hoping to do another video later this year, but looks like it'll probably be pushed to next year and kind of, just push it as almost like a brand new thing again. Since we have only released, the single Where the Demons Lie. So there's still a lot, I think, of life left in it and a lot of people who still haven't heard it. So I'm trying to just get it out there to as many people as I can.
Exactly. And it is tough to get the word out. I mean, it is a big world. And media, there's a lot of, a lot of different bands, a lot of competition to get the word out. So yeah, always keep in mind, I mean, if they haven't heard it yet, it's brand new to them.
Yeah, exactly. That's what one thing Patrick has told me. He's like, well, no, like let's keep pushing it because a lot of people still have not heard it. Majority of people still haven't heard it. So,
Yeah, exactly.
keep pushing it.
Yeah. Now you've been part of a team, performing with Iron Maidens. The Maidens for a long time. So how did it feel to put together your own album and start performing solo shows?
It was scary, really, really scary and terrifying at first because, the Maidens, it's a tribute act and everybody loves, whoever comes out to the shows, they're huge Maiden fans. So obviously they know the music, they're super passionate. And with this, it's, if it fails and it sucks, well, that's all on me. If it does great, well, cool, it's all on me. But so it's a lot of pressure, it's a lot of stress because, I do everything on my own. I don't have a manager, I don't have a label, don't have any of that stuff. So it's, I kind of play all hats. I do the social media, I do the merch, I do, we do everything. So it's, it's good and bad a little bit because it is stressful, but it's all on me. So I get the freedom to do everything I want.
Yeah, and you do a great job, doing it. It's, you guys really know how to, do the merchandise and the social media and all that. You're doing a great job.
Thank you. Thank you
Yeah.
so much. Because it's
So did you have a, oh, I'm sorry, go ahead.
Oh no, go ahead. I just said it's
You
a
can
learning.
help. You can help Cole with the social media.
Yeah, we need help. Man, we need some people working for us here.
All right.
Um,
I know. I can help.
yeah, did you have any tour at all with your own music, or was it just a series of shows?
It was just a series of shows. So we did the album release party at St. Ronk and Hermosa Beach. And then we did 2 shows in Arizona, and then we opened for John 5 in Las Vegas. So
How is that?
Oh, it was incredible. Like still mind blowing. I'm like, what am I doing opening for John 5? We've only played a handful of shows. Oh, and we played the Schecter Indie Nam party the night before that. Yeah. and or the
That was last year. This year?
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, he was at the Metal Hall of Fame.
Mm-hmm.
John 5. He
Yeah.
presented somebody, I forgot who,
Yeah, I think that was right before his tour that kind of like kicked it off.
in January.
Yeah, it was like a sold out show. It was yeah, incredible. It was and he's so nice. He's
He's a nice
a
guy.
nice guy.
That's great. I mean, at some point your music must have crossed his desk, right? I mean, he must have checked you out.
I still am like, how did this happen? Just like with the Marty Friedman tour. I'm like, okay, well, something's going right. I don't know, I must be doing something right. So let's just keep going with it.
Well, let's take a sample listen then. Let's take a sample listen about a minute and a half of a song from Nikki Stringfield's album Apocrypha. So here's Where the Demons Lie on the Rock Music Alliance. Yeah, there you go. I like that guitar line in that song a lot, and I like the reverse vocals.
Thank you.
Very cool production in there. Uh,
This idea, the reversed vocals and stuff, I think.
yeah, very cool. Yeah, who did the release art for Apocrypha?
Tristan Great Rex, he was who also did my art for Harmonies for the Haunted. He lives in the UK. And so we have just a cool little communication where I send him some ideas my time, and then he wakes up and it's like, oh, so it's just kind of like you get it right in the morning when you wake up. It's awesome. And I
So how
didn't
was the recording process?
the recording process, I had a lot of demos. I had a lot of time during the pandemic, a lot of downtime. And so I had demoed out a lot of the songs, and then Patrick and I just kind of got those going. And we sat with our drummer, Shad, who also plays in Heaven Below. And, we had a couple of rehearsals for the drums, and then we sat and he recorded all the drums in, I think, one day. So 11 songs in one day. Shad's,
Cool.
a
Wow.
monster.
Yeah, I enjoy the drumming on that album quite a bit. I'm surprised in one day though. That's a lot for one day. But also, I mean, it's also there's some finesse going on in there too. So just surprised it would happen that quick.
Yeah, yeah. I think it was one day because or was it? I think it was one, or I'm pretty sure it was just one day because we were all shocked. I had booked more just in case, but I was like, we rehearsed it for two days prior. So he knew what he was doing. He was ready to go. And then after that, after we had the drums, it was, Patrick and I just sat and did guitars, and then we did vocals last.
So you, Patrick, Shad, anybody else?
And Chase Gents, Patrick's good friend from San Antonio, mixed and mastered it.
Well, who's playing bass on Apocrypha?
Patrick.
Wow.
Yeah. I played it on Harmonies for the Haunted, and I was like, I don't want to deal with that this time. So to take some of my stress away, Patrick did, and he had fun with it. Yeah. So it's all him.
Have you ever played bass, Claudio?
Yeah. I play everything except drums, but yeah, I did.
Yeah. I've done it a couple times for some songs. I had a good time too.
Well, when you're alone, then you can't wait for anybody. You want to finish the song, so you just do it. But
Yeah.
sometimes I call my prodigy friends that can play bass well, and they do it like that.
Yeah, yeah.
Tony Franklin or Chris Squire or you name it.
Yeah.
I always got to know so many good musicians that, I'm lucky, I guess.
Yeah, that's something about Claudio. Like I've said it again and again. You seem to know everybody. So
I don't know myself yet, but yeah.
yeah, and we've also said before, if you're in the music business for maybe up to 10 years, I mean, at some point, you end up kind of playing multiple things. Like you end up, playing a little bass, a little guitar, some keyboards. So you're going to have to be a multi-instrumentalist at some point.
Absolutely.
Especially after midnight, that you want to finish the song, because you're inspired. It's just like the energy is right there.
Yeah.
So you end up playing everything. I mean, I'm not patient, so I like to finish.
Yeah.
When you're inspired, just do it fast.
So on the songwriting side, are you the sole writer of the songs on Apocrypha, or did you collaborate with anybody?
Besides Patrick, it's just us two, and then Shad with some of his drum parts because I'm not a drummer. I said do your thing, and I sent him the demos, and some of them had some rough, horribly programmed drums that I did to try to get my idea across. But I was like, do what you do your thing. Some of them I had pretty much fully written, and others I had like the chorus written, and I was just like stuck on lyrics or whatever. So a couple of them, Patrick and I like actually full on collaborated with lyrics and everything. And then since I knew he would be playing the other guitar live, I let him do, a lot of the little fills and everything that I knew he'd be doing live as well. So he's got guitar sprinkled in across the entire album as well.
Yeah, very cool. Well, let's take another sample listen for that. So from Apocrypha, here's about a minute and a half of Flesh and Bones on the Rock Music Alliance.
Can you see it in their eyes? A harbinger of all disguise. Can you feel me? Another shot to numb the pain. A little help to break the chains. It's temporary. This little voice inside my brain, it's driving me insane. Hear me now, I'm paralyzed. Tear me open from inside. So throw your sticks and stones. We're all just flesh and bones. Who's gonna save you from the lies? Immortalized. Can you see it? Fear they crave. All our thoughts become enslaved. Can you hear me? Down the rabbit hole you'll play. Deep inside the darkness you will stay. It's legendary.
Very cool, Nikki. Again, very haunting with the reversed vocals in that song. It actually gives me the chills when I hear it. I love it.
Thank you. That's probably my favorite song on the album, I think. I love that song because it is
Yeah,
creepy.
it grows on you. It grows on me. Like I'm listening to the album, and I found myself wanting to hear that one again and again. It just grows on you.
Awesome. And I think that one's one of my favorites to play live as well.
Very cool.
Oh, glad
So,
to know. Glad to know that Cole is human. I thought that he was like a computer.
well, do you have
AI.
do you have any particular musical influences that inspire you for your music?
As Sinister Gates from Avenged Sevenfold is probably my biggest influence on guitar playing and everything. Obviously, Iron Maiden, since I play it all the time, I was a huge fan of Maiden before I joined the band.
You replaced Nita, right?
We were actually rotating at the same time, so it was her,
Okay.
Neely, and I. So we were all in the band at the same time, rotating out.
Very cool. So you had a chance to work a little bit with Nita and Nilly.
No, not really, because we were all in the same position. I
Oh yeah,
think
yeah.
one time Courtney couldn't do a gig, so Neely actually played in her place. And I think Nita came out for one show and we did like a 3 guitar lineup for a few songs. But yeah, besides that, like I didn't get to work with them because we were all playing the same part.
Yeah, it bears mentioning, I think, that, the Iron Maidens, yeah, the Iron Maidens have proven themselves a kind of a launching board, for people. You got, Courtney Cox coming out of the band, Nita Strauss has come out of that band, Millie Bosch is out there, and you've been there for 12 years. Now you're launching, your solo career more in earnest. It's like a launching board.
Yeah.
Do you know any of the songs before you joined the band?
I knew bits and pieces, yeah. Because
Okay.
I was a Maiden fan. 2 Minutes to Midnight was one of the first riffs that I learned. Some of Wasted Years. So yeah, I didn't know full songs, but yeah, I knew
What's her name? She's playing with Burning Witches, right?
Courtney. Yeah.
Yeah, Corny.
Hmm.
Well, gang, let's pause here for a word from our sponsor, and when we come back, we're going to ask Nikki a little bit about her early days, becoming a femme fatale, and being a maiden. Attention guitar players, the Thimble Slide allows you to slide and fret, freeing your slide finger. The Thimble Slide is a mini guitar slide designed to be worn on the tip of your finger, about halfway down your fingernail. When worn there, you can still bend your finger, and most importantly, it's allowing enough of your fingertip through so you can still press the guitar strings. The Thimble Slide is larger at the back and smaller at the front, so it follows the contour of your finger. So when you're wearing the slide, it's not loose or rattling around on your finger. This also allows your other fingertips in nice and close for playing. The sizing gap allows you to make the slide a little bit larger or a little bit smaller for a nice custom fit. While wearing a Thimble Slide, you can of course use it as a slide, but more importantly, you can still press the strings while wearing it. So you can play chords, play lines, bend notes. Really, you can still do all the things that you need to do to keep playing guitar while wearing it. You don't have to take it off. With its patented shape, you can slide and fret while wearing the Thimble Slide. Visit thimbleslide.com. That's thimbleslide.com.
This is Johnson Pessa from The Cult. Join the Rock Music Alliance. Yeah.
Hey, we're back with Nikki Stringfield on the Rock Music Alliance. Yeah, Nikki, take us back in time a little bit. Where did you grow up and how did you get into guitar playing?
I grew up, born and raised in a small town called Red Oak, Texas, about 30 minutes south of downtown Dallas. So kind of out in the middle of nowhere. And back then there was nothing to do in that town. There's still not much to do. So, I grew up kind of a nerd-ish kind of thing. Like I just was like a emo goth nerd. I was really good at school and all that. So there just wasn't much to do. So I decided, well, I'm going to pick up the guitar. My dad played guitar. I started playing when I was 14. Just got Nirvana tab books and taught myself. So I was self-taught. And then I just fell in love with it. It was all consuming. And so I just knew I wanted to play in a band. I knew I wanted to play live because I was going to concerts all the time. And I'm like, I want to be up there on that stage. But there was nobody to jam with here, like at all. So I decided to go, I was like, oh, I'm going to do the college thing, make my parents happy. So I decided to go to UT in Austin. It's called like the live music capital of the world, right? But I still found nobody to really jam with. So I finished out everything there and I got into an internship program to where I could move to LA for my last semester. And I majored in radio, TV, and film, minored in business. And so that's how I got to move to LA. And that's kind of how I met everybody. It literally was the cliche, I'm going to move to LA and join a band. And boy, yeah, my life changed within, a few weeks of being there. It was really wild. It was one of the best times, one of the scariest, hardest times of my life. Lots of good and bad everywhere.
I can imagine, Was that the first time you'd ever been like away from home?
Oh yeah. Besides, I moving away to Austin was far enough, but I would visit my family every weekend almost. And so yeah, I didn't know a single person when I moved out there. It was pretty crazy. And I'm super close with my family, so it was terrifying, exciting, but terrifying, and the best decision I ever made, really.
So that was in 2012, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so things happened really fast for you because you joined the Maidens in 2012 as well.
Oh,
So yeah,
yeah.
for a time you worked at the Peavey store on Sunset Boulevard. Did you meet any celeb musicians during that time?
Yeah. We'd have quite a few people come in there. Was it, I think Stevie Wonder came in there one day. John Five came in there and recorded something one day, and I was like, I just get to sit here and like watch the front desk, and I just get to sit here and watch John Five like shred away. Stan Lee came in and did a Marvel night because we had Marvel guitars, Walking Dead guitars. Robert Kirkman, the creator of Walking Dead, came in for that too. So we had some cool stuff there. We had a lot of cool stuff happening when the short time that the store was open.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. So during that time, how did you get the gig with the Iron Maidens?
See, I had one class that was like a music industry class, and my professor, because everybody was there for film, I was the only one that was there for music, and there was about 20 of us maybe. So my music industry professor was like, I'm going to get you into NAMM, and you go every day and go network. And he's like, because that's how you're going to get to know people, and just go every day and just network and network. And I was like, okay. So I went to NAMM by myself. I knew nothing. I didn't know anything. And I was driving back and forth to NAMM from, I think, Burbank. Yeah, Burbank at the time. And I did what he told me. I went to Schecter, and they had seen me online, and I messaged them and said, hey, I'm going to be at NAMM. And they told me to come by the booth and everything. And so I did, and they kind of just took me in. They let me hang with them, and I met everybody there. And after that, they sent me home with 2 guitars to choose from, and they gave me a job. And from there, I met the guys in a band called Before the Morning that was brand new. And they introduced me to Courtney and Nita, and that's how I got in with the Maidens. It was literally all at once, and it was wild. So I joined an original band and the Maidens. The first 2 shows for each of those bands were within a week of each other. So I played my first live show on my 22nd birthday with Before the Morning at On the Rocks, the Roxy.
Oh,
And
yeah.
then my first show with the Maidens was a week after that. It was wild. So it was wild, but I graduated and stayed in LA, and yeah, it was a crazy time.
Yeah, it sounds like it's like a door just opened for you. It's great. And a door opened for you, and you got in.
Yeah, because I can tell you nobody would have ever imagined that, because I'm the quiet one. I was always the quiet one, and I still can't believe I actually made myself, get out there. And
Yeah, you have to get out of there. That's the only way. I mean, people stay home and they think
Yeah.
people are gonna call you. You go out there and at the right time at the wrong place. You know, shit happens. Yeah,
Yeah, well, it's interesting that you also kept a relationship going with Schecter, and at this point in time, I mean, you also have a signature guitar with them now. So
Yeah, I've been playing them since I was 14.
you have
So
a signature guitar.
I have
Really?
two signature guitars. Yeah. Like I said, they took me in. I mean, like I said, I didn't know anybody. Scum Love,
A scam, yeah.
you know, he was
That's
the assistant at my wedding. So literally they
that's
are
the
family to me and
that's the main guy, a Schecter, right?
one of the main guys. Yeah. So
Yeah.
like I'd literally be probably nothing without them. They helped me stay out there, gave me a job, and you know, they're great,
yeah,
great.
that's cool. So yeah, I'm not sure we actually heard you on this. So Scum officiated at your wedding.
Uh-huh.
Wow, look at that.
He's
Yeah. And we
he's a
have
pastor. Yeah.
he's ordained. He's an ordained minister. And
I wouldn't believe that
yeah, he
with that name. Scam.
yeah, he wore a kilt and everything. And we
Wow.
had a display because Patrick, my husband, has a signature guitar as well. So we had both of our signature guitars displayed out at our wedding too. So it was pretty cool.
Nice.
Yeah.
Terrific, terrific. And also, in those early days, you were gigging with Femme Fatale. How did that come about, and what kind of band was Femme Fatale?
So, you know, Courtney and Nita were playing in that band, and then I think that's got to be the time when Nita went off to play with Alice Cooper. So I took her spot in that. And, you know, it was Lorraine Lewis's band from the 80s, and she decided to redo it with all female members. So it had Athena, Tommy Lee's sister,
Yeah.
and
Athena Lee, yeah.
Charlotte. And it was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun. We didn't do a lot of gigs, but when we did do them, it was a lot of fun.
Yeah, it's cool. So to bring us around full circle, how did you meet that guy, Patrick Kennison?
Ah,
It always comes back to Schecter. Always comes back to Schecter. So Scum had a live band karaoke night called Rock Karaoke, and he had just started it, I think, like right around the time I moved there. And so I met Patrick there, and he was kind of doing like because you could get up and play guitar, bass, drums, anything, not just sing. And so Patrick was doing a lot of it, kind of being like the backing band. And so I met him back in 2012, and we were just really good
same year.
friends.
Wow.
Yeah, same year. So really good friends up until we got together, because neither one of us saw that coming at all. So, but being like best friends definitely, you know, paved the way for a great relationship.
That's cool. And for our listeners, we're talking about Patrick Kennison, who's guitars and vocals with the Lita Ford band.
Mhm.
Yeah. So do you find being musicians, did that help carry things forward with you guys?
Absolutely, because you know, when he got home Sunday, I got home Sunday, and then he just left this morning. I had to take him back to the airport. So we barely get to see each other. And, you know, I swore I would never be with another musician. I was like, never, ever again. But, you know, we understand each other. Like when we're on the road and say something doesn't fit with the itinerary, we understand. Like, you know, it's just, and then when we do have free time, we get to work on music together. So, or else we'd never probably see our other, you know, spouse if we weren't working on music together. So it's a
Who
total.
take care of the dog?
My mom takes care of him now.
Okay.
We're both gone. So that was another thing, getting to move home. Like, yeah, he's whining at me right now. My mom is getting to come and watch my little Rolo and my kitties.
Yeah, we probably want to mention for the listeners again, you were living in Los Angeles for about 12 years, and then recently you just moved back to the Dallas area.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
how's it going over there?
It's so great. We moved back. I said I would never move back, and so did Patrick, but we're rarely home, you know, between the two of us, and we lived in a tiny place there in Redondo Beach, which I love, and I miss Hermosa and I missed Redondo. But you know, for not ever being home, what we were paying there is like
Yeah.
crazy. So we have a nice house here. We actually have our studio set up. We can take our guitars out of storage. They're all here. We had to have a storage unit for all of our guitars there. And really close to my family. I can jog to my parents' house. And the only thing I don't like is the humidity, the heat, and the bugs. That's the only things I don't like. Humidity and scary bugs.
Yeah.
So but it's great. It's really good.
Do you guys have a lot of the cicada bugs out there?
Yes. Oh, they're so loud. They're so crazy loud. But the spiders are the worst. Spiders and hoppers. Not a bug person.
Well, Nikki, congratulations on Apocrypha and, truly launching your solo career. Look forward to a lot more music from you. And so that brings us to the end of our show today. And, people listening, you can keep in touch with Nikki at Nikki-Stringfield.com. And of course, on social media. Plus, something new, find the Rock Music Alliance on Patreon. Join us there and you'll get stuff. Got stuff happening at every level. And look for our exclusive content there as well. Maybe even something from Nikki here. So Nikki, thanks for being our guest today on the Rock Music Alliance interview sessions.
Thank you so much. It's great seeing you guys. Always so good to talk to you.
I'm Cole Coleman, and for Claudio Pesavento, the Rock Music Alliance, and the RMA Awards, thanks for watching and listening. Visit us at rockmusicalliance.com and check out this year's RMA Awards for rock, metal, and progressive rock music.